Hey guys, good morning everybody. Today is Wednesday, November 20th. It is 6:22 right now. Market's gonna open in about 8 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and set up this room real quick and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. It's got a few things here to update and we should be good to go. All right, looks like we are good. Let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. Link is sent out. All right, looks like we are good to go here. So as people join in, I'm going to go ahead and start marking up liquidity over here. All right, going down to the 4 hour. So it looks like price is finally starting to stabilize down here after all of the elections hype. Going down to the 30-minute. Going down to the 15-minute. Going down to the 10-minute. Down to the 1-minute. And it looks like we are good to go. All right, guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Wednesday, November 20th. It is 6:25 right now. Market's gonna open in about 5 minutes. I've marked up liquidity over here. Closest level of liquidity above is at 43,470, and the closest level of liquidity below just got triggered. I'm gonna delete that. Next one below that's gonna be at 43,342. So we got two levels of liquidity right there. As you can see, price was pretty flat up until a few minutes ago. And then this big drop here happened about 6 minutes ago at 6:20. So volatility here is obviously starting to pick up. As you guys can see, we'll be looking to see for the direction of the breakout shortly. Today, I'm not going to be taking the breakout, guys, just a heads up. I'm still following the risk off plan. So right now, because we had two back-to-back losses previously, I'm not taking any entries for the breakout. I'll mark it up for you and you guys can take it if you want, but I'm not going to be taking it myself. Here are the stats so far for November. So for November, using the model that I'm currently applying, it's five. We took 5 buys, 5 sells, 4 wins, 6 losses, total profit of 100 points right now. So yeah, I can't take any trades here because I'm following the risk off plan. Until we have a win, I'm not going to be taking any entries. Currently still in profit for November overall. And I'll keep updating these stats as we progress through the year. So for this year so far, with the data that I have currently, the only month that was red was, I believe, April. So this model it's a good long-term model. So the only red month that I can see over here was April. It was negative 100 points, but everything else was positive. So I'm going to keep following this model until I need to make any changes. So yeah, no breakout for me today. Hopefully the breakout wins today, and then I can take the breakout tomorrow, and then Friday. But I will be taking scalp entries. So no breakout, but I will be looking for scalp entries here. All right, looks like we'll know the direction of the breakout shortly in about a few moments. All right, guys, if you guys are just joining, looking over here at the main chart. So looking at this, we currently have liquidity above at 43,470, and the closest level of liquidity below is at 43,342. I'll just keep it like this so you can see both of the lines on the chart. I'll space it out once market opens. We'll know the direction of the breakout in about a few. So, all right, guys, the direction of the breakout for today is going to be a sell. Again, like I said, guys, if you guys are just joining in, I'm not taking the breakout today. The reason why I'm not taking the breakout is because I'm following the risk off plan. A risk off plan is basically when I have two back-to-back losses, I don't take the following trade until I have one more win to basically balance it out. So right now we don't have a win that's come up since since last Thursday. So I'm currently not taking any of the breakouts. If you guys do want to take the breakout for today is going to be a sell. I'll mark it up for you guys here. If this wins today, then I will be taking the breakout tomorrow. So breakout for today is a sell if you guys are looking to take it. Market's going to open up shortly in about 10 seconds. I think the sell is going to look good here because this candle is huge. So here goes the breakout for today. So what I'll do here is I will mark up levels for the 50 point, 60 point, because I know some of you guys want to move your stop loss and profit. So I'll just mark these up here so that you guys have an idea of like where you might want to move your stop loss and profit from. So the only issue here is that it's right at the sessions. It's having trouble getting past it. Main problem there. All right, so there goes the breakout, guys. Currently in profit right now. Again, I'm not in this breakout. I'm just marking it up for you guys. And we'll just kind of follow it through. If today's breakout wins, then I'll take the breakout tomorrow. If this breakout doesn't win, then I'm still not taking any breakouts until we have a full win. So we got price kind of sitting up here. It's getting close to the liquidity above. Like I said, the problem down below is going to be the sessions right here because it's like right at current price. It's trying to come down, but it's just having trouble getting past right there. There's opening price right there. We got another level of liquidity down below here now. So I'll just zoom this out so you can see it now. All right, still no entries for me to take here with regard to scalps. If you guys want to take a scalp here, there's a possible. Actually, there's nothing here right now. Again, there's just no direction at this moment. Kind of same chop as yesterday. I was hoping there'd be more movement today, but it's okay. So I'll mark up the levels right now. So the breakout looks like it's still running. Breakouts right there running in profit. As you can see there, again, there's just no direction. I'm hoping there's going to be more direction starting tomorrow because tomorrow is when the high impact news starts to come in. Today, there's only gas stock change that comes up at 7 o'clock, so it's not much of a catalyst, but it could be enough to kind of push price in a direction. Again, if you guys are just joining the live session, I'm not in this breakout right here. The reason why I'm not in this breakout is because I'm following the risk off plan. My risk off plan is basically if I have two back-to-back losses, I don't take the next trade until one wins. So one trade has to win first, and then after that, I'll start taking some breakouts. So I'm hoping today will win so that I can take the breakout tomorrow. Or if today doesn't win, I'm hoping Thursday's wins, and then I can take the Friday breakout. Here are the current stats for the breakout for November so far, following this model, basically with the risk off. Currently right now, since I'm not taking any trades, the last trade I took, or I would have taken, would be on Monday. Last trade would have been Monday, nothing yesterday, nothing the day before that. And then we're just waiting for a win here. But following the risk off plan, we'd be in net positive profits right now. So it's got to stick to the game plan. That's really what it is about, the whole trading thing. With trading, it's really just having a game plan and sticking to it no matter what. I will be looking for some scalps here, but in order for me to look for some scalps, I need to have some direction of price. So I need price to come down and continue down lower, or I need price to push up and I need it to continue up higher, right? Until I get any of that, there's not going to be any entries for me to take here in regards to scalps or the breakout in general. Here's the clean chart. So let me just take this off real quick. You guys can see where the range is happening. It looks like the range is actually going to be below this point. Anything above here looks like a fake out. So price came up right here, or price above or below these areas look like fake out areas to me. So price came below here, faked out, came up here, faked out, and now it's back in the range, which is down the middle right here. Let's take a look at the SR chart, see if we have any zones here to mark up. Got one right here. Right there. I think that's it for that. That's it for that. Let's see if there's anything below. All right. So the breakout's looking good so far, guys. Breakout's currently in profit about to 50 points. Breakout is pushing in profit to the 60 points, 80 points. It's almost at 90 points right there. So breakout is almost at its TP. Put an alert down there. All right, so the breakout so far has pushed in profit about 87 points. So one thing that I'm looking to maybe implement is possibly a stop loss in profit around the 70 mark here. Not doing it yet, but possibility. And this is also a triple confluence. Thanks. Thanks, Brett. I didn't even notice that until now. So breakout looks like it's about to hit TP right there. And there we go, full TP. So full TP for the breakout today for 100 points. This is a good sign. So now that we have that full TP right there, I will be looking to take the breakout. There you go, full TP on the breakout for 100 points. I'll be looking to take the breakout tomorrow. So I'll put this over here in the stats. Solid. All right, there you go, guys. So there goes a breakout. Really nice breakout for the day. Slight retracement and then came all the way back down. So breakout for today played out perfectly like it should have. And now we'll start looking for some scalps here possibly. So another entry right there for a triple confluence. Yeah, Daniel said smooth today, no sessions near TP. For us, it bounced off. Yeah, it was a break and retest off that area, so it was perfect. Came down below it, dropped down lower. So, all right, guys, there goes the breakout for the day. Now I'm going to start looking for some possible scalps here. So we got price coming below this liquidity. If this here closes green, I think price is going to retrace up a bit. There's a V1 variation right here off the liquidity level. So this could be a liquidity grab. You can see how price grabbed liquidity and it's coming right back up. So what we might see here is we might see retracement up and then correction back down. So look for some possible entries here for a sell. Let's take a look at the other time frames. 1 minute's bearish, 5 minutes bearish, 10 minutes bearish, 1 hour is bearish, 4 hours bearish, and the daily is still bullish. So for the most part, the short time frames here do look bearish. There goes price comes back down. So it looks like a double fake out here in a sense. We had price kind of come down, faked out above, then it faked out right back below. I'll be looking for some possible breakout V3 continuations. There's actually a breakout V3 continuation right here. I didn't want to take it because it was kind of far down from where it was. So from this area up here to here, it was already down 130 points. So pretty far drop. I'd be looking for a possible retracement first. And then a continuation back down. Well, just notice the pattern here. So I kind of noticed a pattern here. So kind of interesting. It's kind of so I noticed a pattern here that's kind of similar to like the high-low scalps. So looking at this right here, I noticed that whenever price comes back and it looks like it's coming up for a reversal, but it comes back down, it just comes down super hard. The same thing happened right here too. I started noticing this pattern just right now. Price comes up, looks like it's going to reverse to the upside, then it crashes right back down and it comes down super hard. So that's going to be another pattern I'm going to look at. I'm consistently looking for new ways to make money in the market. Similar to like the way that we're currently trading, but just little slight variations to it. I'll come back to the chart right now. I'm just kind of curious to see if it happened here again. Yeah, it happened here too. Price is bearish, price came above, closed back below. Entry could have happened right here. So it kind of allows you to trade within the range, but there's a chance of it actually breaking below. Okay. So you guys might see what I'm seeing, might not see what I'm seeing, but basically price here is bearish. So I'm looking for the fake out. Fake out happened right here. I use this level right here to identify the fake out. Price came up, faked out, came back down, and it dropped super heavily. So you might see what I'm seeing, might not. If I do see it come up again here, I'll probably look into it. Maybe that's something that we can implement. There's just so many variations to like the high-low scalps that I don't want to create too many, but if it's feasible and it makes money, why not? So, all right, we'll keep looking here for some entries, guys. Price looks like it may just consolidate at this lower area for a bit. I'll look for it to swing up a little bit more, and then we'll go from there. So So what I would be looking for here is I'm looking for a buy signal to come up. Once we get that buy signal, I'll look for price to kind of come up a little bit, give me a V1 variation, and then come back down. But it looks like price here is going to stay a little flat for now. So price broke out of the range, of course. All right, so price faked out at this lower level. Let me go down here, see if there's another lower zone here to mark up. It's already got marked up on the 10. All right. So bouncing between the markups here. So we have the SR chart right here. The zone is going to be right here down the middle, looks like. So this looks like the range right here that price is going to stay within. If we're looking at the SR chart, looking at the clean chart over here, looks like it's very similar. So it looks like the zone may happen in this middle area too, between the 400 and the 300 price point. It's a 100-point range. Looking at this right here, it's a little slightly higher. So the SR chart's a little more messy. This probably won't be super useful for us, but it looks like price may stay above this support level right here. Price just faked out below the support, and then it pulled back into the range. Range is going to be between this middle area right here. I'll try to look for some trades in between this area, or I'll look for price to possibly fake out in the other direction. Let's see, this might be a V1 variation right here, guys. I'll be looking to take this here for a sell. Candle's closing in about a few seconds. And this right here is, yeah, the entry was really bad. So I'm gonna have to, let's follow it.
Order submitted.
Entry wasn't exactly the best, but I'll follow it. My stop loss should be moving in profit at the 10-point mark. Yeah, my entry wasn't the best there. It was off by a few points. Yeah, I'm 7 points. It's crazy. I don't know what's up with the slippage lately. This week, there's been a lot of slippage. So yesterday, I didn't have as bad slippage as the other people in here, but a couple of the others in here had some pretty bad slippage. So let's see. So technically, it already moved in 10 points, but because of my bad entry point, I didn't get the move in profit right there, unfortunately. And for some reason, the slippage has been really bad for, well, at least the past 2 days. Yesterday was really bad for a couple people. For me, it was like my profit should have been moved in my stop loss should have been moved in profit already. This thing here might hit my stop loss because it's kind of close. Yeah, I got stopped out. Fuck. I got to figure out a way to put a pending order because these market orders, for some reason, that the slippage on this one was pretty bad. So my entry was like down here in 7 points. This is where the entry should have been. I'll mark up the line right here. But my entry ended up happening down here. Let me mark up 7 points. So I was supposed to enter right there, and then my stop loss would have gotten moved in profit, but I ended up entering way down here. So I couldn't get out at 10 points. The 10 points should have been right here, but it's supposed to be up here. I mean, it's all good. It is what it is. I think what I might have to do is I might just have to look for market for market flow V2s because I need to put pending orders. The slippage, not really the slippage, but like the slippage is pretty bad now that I'm looking at the stats here. Yeah, iPhone said Tradeify sent an email yesterday saying it was a trade of eight downtime. They reset the trailing drawdown to the night before. So even though I lost the breakout yesterday, it didn't count. Okay, solid. Yeah, I did get that email too from Tradeify. I think Top Step and Tradeify had issues um with the with just executions on Tradeovate. I don't know if anybody else is having those issues, but I know about four of us had those issues yesterday, and then today I had the same issue. I hit market order and it ended up filling me out like 7 points uh below, which it's a lot of points because my stop loss gets moved in profit at 10 points. So I mean, we'll see. I guess we'll just have to deal with it for now. This is why it's tricky when you do scalping with market orders. This is why I prefer to do scalping with pending orders, market flow V2s and MPS entries. So I'll probably just look at MPS entries and market flow V2s because the market entries are just not gonna it seems like every time you enter a market order, it's gonna get some sort of slippage. So I'll keep looking for entries here, but I'm probably just gonna stick to market flow V2s and momentum pullback scalps. I'll look at those two because for those you can put pending orders. For V1 variations and for breakout V3 continuations and stuff like that, you can't really put pending orders. You have to get in like right away. All right, so let's see what we got here next. So what I need here next is I need a sell signal to push price back down. I'll look for the retracement and then I'll come back down lower. If you guys are just joining, the breakout for today hit TP. If you guys are looking for that, I know most of you guys are looking for the breakout here mainly. So the breakout over here hit full TP for 100 points. This was a good sign because now I can take the breakout tomorrow. I was currently on the risk off plan, so I didn't take the trade today, but I will be looking to take the trade tomorrow. So I'm looking for a sell here, sell signal. I'm gonna look for it to come down a little bit, retrace, and give me opportunity for a market flow V2 or for a MPS entry. Seems like the MPS might work best here because of the current market that we're in. As you guys can see, we're still in this range. So the same range that I drew up earlier right here, price is still within it. It's between the 400 and the 300 mark. Same with the SR chart over here. Still pulling down. All right, so there's a sell signal here pending. This could be a possible pivot scalp entry, but like I said, I'm not going to take any more of these market orders because market orders keep giving me like some horrible slippage. If this candle here closes red, this could be a possible entry for a breakout V3 continuation. The next entry is going to happen right here for market flow at the 750 mark, or sorry, the 370 mark. Let's see, I think I could put a pending order right there. I put my pending order at the 370 for a market flow
Order
V2.
submitted.
I'm going to see if I still get slippage on this here. Because if I still get slippage, then the issue is going to be with the broker, not necessarily with the, okay, so it filled right there. See where the entry's at.
Order submitted.
Entry looks fine. At the 370. So looking at this here, I'll be looking for this to come down. If I lose this trade, then I'm pretty much done for the day. My for the scalps here, if I lose two trades, then I'm pretty much done. I lower the risk on it, so I don't have to risk as much. So the risk is like very minimal. This here is a market flow V2 entry. And the chop for this week hasn't really gone anywhere. It looks like we're still going to be in this choppiness um, for the rest of the week, maybe until the news happens tomorrow. But for this entry here, I didn't get any slippage. It actually filled me where I needed to. So I think what I need to do moving forward is just use pending orders because the market orders are just, they just end up getting me caught in a ton of slippage. So market flow V2 entry here is still running. Looks like we're not really getting much direction here. Price is going to sit within the range here at the moment. Let's go back to the SR chart. No new zones there. All right, so we're still in this position here. Price is coming back down. But yeah, like I said over here, looking at the clean chart, price looks like it might just stay within this range for a while. So after this position, I might just hold off for taking entries for a little bit, at least until like the direction's been made. So the entry for the market flow V2 is still running. There's just not very much direction here. Price is still just going sideways. This isn't the type of market that you want to be taking directional entries in because there's not very much direction. So let's see if there's any other zones here that I can look up on the higher time frames. I'm just looking to find some zones in between this area so I can see where price might likely push to or where it might bounce from. All right, my stop loss got moved in profit over here, guys, for the market flow V2 entry. It's coming down right there, almost to its TP. I got closed out right there for partial profit. Ah, man, I hate the sideways market. So little win right there. Gave me some leeway.
Order filled.
Gave me a little bit of leeway. It was really close to the TP, off by like maybe like less than a point. If you guys are still holding on to it, I mean, it can still come down lower, but you guys can see over there, my stop loss got moved in profit. And then now I'm just waiting for the next opportunity here for entry. So I'll leave this up right here. And if you want to re-enter the trade, it's still going to be at that 70 mark. I'm going to hold off on entries right now because, I mean, obviously you can see this market's not super great. No direction, price still going sideways. The entry is still running if you guys are in it, but this trade is running for too long. It's like no longer a scalp at this point. Trade's been running for about, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 minutes now. So I will, I'll take a screenshot later of the entries because I'll take the one that we took here earlier too. But yeah, you guys can see my markers here. So right here at this red candle or this red arrow is where I entered. So I entered right here, 750 for a market flow V2. And then right here on the screen candle where it has the blue arrow is where I pulled out. So I got out for slightly more profit, about 15 points. So I basically need another half win to bring myself back into profit for the day. CJ said was having technical difficulties. I'm back. What did I miss? Not sure if you missed the breakout, but the breakout did hit full TP right here, CJ. Other than that, I was looking for a V1 variation right here. Didn't play through. And then I took the market flow V2 right here, which my stop loss got moved in profit. And then I got stopped out at about 15 points right here. Still running though. So if anybody's still holding on to it, I was hoping it'd blast right through because it was getting really close to the TP and then it just flickered right here. like literally less than a point away. But it's all good. I'll take what I can get off this. Okay, full TP right there. So if you guys caught that right there for the full move, there goes the full TP. As you guys know, I moved my stop loss and profit, so I got out for partial. So basically, there's two entries here that came up that I noticed. There's actually more here. So there's a triple confluence that came up right here, which I missed. Brett identified that earlier. There's a breakout V3 continuation right there below it. So I'm just going to mark up the entries which have came up today, so that you guys can be aware of like what entries came up, if there's anything specific that you're looking for. And then the V1 variation right here I took didn't play out. And then this one over here played out. So the main chart's going to get a little messy here, but I will I'll try to make it as understandable as possible. So triple confluence, full TP. Breakout, variation, full TP. V1 variation, stop loss. And this one over here, market flow. Two. All right, so if you guys are wondering which entries came up for the day, these three came up. There's a triple confluence right here. This doesn't happen very often, but when it does happen, it typically hits pretty nicely. So triple confluence right there, breakout V3 continuation, that happened right here, variation V1, stop loss, and then market flow V2 full TP right here. So I'll keep looking for possible entries here. The next possible entry might be let's see, a market flow V2, or sorry, not a market flow, an MPS entry. Momentum pullback scalp. So if you get a green candle right here, the next entry would be an MPS entry, which would happen right here at the, never mind. It'd have to close below this point. So if it closes below this point right here, it'd be at the 50 mark. The MPS entry would line up exactly with another market flow V2. So this candle would have to close below this line here, below the 350. If it doesn't close below the 350, then there's no entry there for MPS or for market flow V2. I'm gonna hold off on this one. I don't like the way that the candles are currently moving. Looks like price is just going to keep going sideways within this area. So I'm going to hold off on it. If you guys want to take it, I've marked it up right there. Just understand the risk behind that entry. Yeah, so entry is going to happen right here at the 350 mark. So I'm not in this position right here. Like I said, I don't like the way the candles are moving. I had a feeling this buy signal was going to come up because it was pushing up so heavily. So with the market volatility right now, not really looking to take any of these entries, especially because the direction of price is just going sideways within this range. In order for me to take some entries, I need price to really be pushing to the upside, or I need price to be pushing to the downside. Right now, we don't really have either of that, right? We have price kind of just going back and forth within this range that I marked up here. So the range is really just going to be between the 400 and the 300 price point down here. It's a 100-point range. And this isn't the type of market that we need for the scalps that we're looking to take. So I'm not taking this entry. I mean, I'm glad I didn't take it because you can see right here, it's not looking so hot. This could still play out. Like, given that the criteria here is still met, this can still play out. The only problem here is that there's not really much market flow, right? The whole point of that strategy, market flow, is that you're trading entries when market is flowing in a direction, right? Flowing to the upside or flowing to the downside. Right now, we don't have that. We got a sideways movement. So I'm always going to look out for you guys. You know, I'll mark up the entries for you guys, and it's like up to your own risk. Right now, you're supposed to pull out of the position. So if you're in this market flow V2, you're supposed to pull out for a partial profit because we have a buy signal that came up on this previous candle. So if you guys are in this position, if you're following my rules, then you're supposed to pull out for a small profit. It is in profit right now. Otherwise, if you guys want to hold on to it, feel free to hold on to it, but you know, hold on to it at your own risk. because the way that the strategy is designed is that you're supposed to be going in the direction of momentum. So I'll just put this over here. Market flow V2 partial. So looking so far, these are the entries that which have come up for scalps. So we had a triple confluence full TP, breakout V3 continuation, full TP, V1 variation, full TP, stop loss, market flow V2, full TP, and right here, a market flow V2 partial TP. So this is a market flow V2, and it's also momentum pullback scalp. I'll just put MPS. I'll start using, so if you guys are not familiar with the strategies, just make sure to go back to the website and look at the free course. So if you guys are not familiar with any of these strategies that I have right here and you want to be familiar with it so that you can identify them and take these entries on your own, just go to the website. Go to the website right here, kodikaitrades.com, and click on unlock your free access. This will give you access to the basically the free course that covers all the strategies. As long as you're aware of the strategies and what criteria to look at, you can pretty much just take the same trades that we identify here on the live session. So that'll give you an upper hand so that you don't have to like wonder what I'm looking for. I'll call out names of strategies. People in the group will call out names of strategies, and you guys will be able to just see what's coming up before it actually happens. Let me see if I can pull up the course here. And again, good news for you guys. For a lot of you who've been asking if I can mentor you guys. So I will start mentoring starting next week again. So next week we'll have weekly group mentoring sessions. I'm going to try to revamp the course a little bit, just kind of organize it a little better. There's no entries here right now, so you guys are not missing out on anything. But anyways, this is what the course looks like. So this is what the course looks like. When you guys log in, it'll give you pretty much all the breakdown of everything here. What I'm going to do with these mentoring sessions are going to be slightly different. So instead of just getting on these mentoring sessions and answering questions, I'm going to go through the course in order. So, if you're brand new and you need to understand how to use things, I'll be going through the course in order. So I'll basically go through each module. So for week one, we'll just get started with module one, and then week two, we'll go through module two. Week three, we'll go through module three. Obviously, look through all of the indicators. I'll explain what each indicator does. Module four, we'll explain directional strategies. Module five, we'll go through the directional strategies. Module six, or week six. So every week, I'm going to be covering like pretty much every module here, so that if you guys can attend the mentoring session, we'll answer questions real time. But if you guys can't attend the mentoring session, there's a triple confluence right here. Damn, I just missed it. Did anyone get that? See, the market here is a little it's like so unpredictable because there's no consistency in the market. There's like you'll get the sideways move and then all of a sudden you'll just get a huge spike right here. So there goes that right there. And then there was a triple confluence that came up right here. I mean, personally, I don't know if I would have taken this entry anyways, because this kind of spiked out of nowhere. But again, right here, another triple confluence for full TP. So the triple confluence is supposed to be a 10-point move. So if you guys took that there, it's already pretty much good to go. There's a breakout V3 continuation that happened right after it too. So there's another entry running right next to it. Yeah, I don't know. The market, the market this week is very, very choppy. And then there become these random spikes of price. This candle here was huge. This triple confluence candle was like about 60 points. Let me check CNBC real quick. I'm just kind of curious to see what is like what's going on. It's causing these spikes. So let's see. Stock slip as investors await Nvidia quarterly report. So I think Nvidia just released their data, right? There's no update here. I'm not sure if they just released their data for the month. All right, anyways, two entries right here that came up. First one was the triple confluence, and the other one right here after, which is the a lot of entries that came up today. They're just a little tricky though. All right, guys. So looking at the entries over here, a full TP on the triple confluence and a full TP on the breakout V3 continuation. It's just I don't know what to say about the market right now. The market is very unpredictable. Uh, least to say. So looking over here, it's kind of been doing this choppy pattern or choppy movement for the past couple days where price will go sideways like this, and then all of a sudden it blasts right down and it goes back into a range like this, and then it blasts right down. And then I wouldn't be surprised if this here goes right back into a range again. So we just have to work with what we got. Tomorrow we do have news. We have a lot of news tomorrow, actually. So tomorrow we have jobs data, free market, and then we have existing home sales during the live session at 7. So I'm hoping once this data gets released, we're going to get some actual direction, like price will come down and it'll just continue dropping. You can see over here, price did come down a little. It came up a little bit initially, then it came back down. Then it came up initially, then it came back down. And I wouldn't be surprised if it comes up initially again, and then it comes back down. It's not very smooth. Like if you were to put boxes around these areas, so market open right here at 6:30. So you can see here that it's not really a smooth push. It kind of, obviously there's a big range right here on open. Then it comes down a little bit, goes into this big range right here. Then it comes down a lot right here. And then I wouldn't be surprised if this here just starts to range again. I mean, it's just the type of market. There's just no consistency here where you can really like, if you can say like this is a directional market or this is a sideways market. It's neither. It's both. It's more so a sideways market, but for the most part, there's just not very much consistency here. Like you can't really determine, okay, I'm only going to take directional moves or I'm only going to take sideways moves. Because initially right here, when I took the V1 variation, market was going sideways. So I was like, okay, we're going to be taking sideways moves. That didn't even work for me. Ended up taking the market flow V2 right here, and it worked out for me. Another one right here worked out, but it took a long time for it to hit. And then again, right here, it looks like price might just start going sideways again. So All that I can really say is that be cautious because you might start looking for some directional moves and then price goes right back into the range, or you might start looking for sideways moves and then price starts going directional, right? So I've marked up pretty much the price points around this area. You can see that price is actually really respecting the SR levels I marked up here. So I marked these up before price even came down here. This was a 5-minute or 10-minute support level. Price came down right here, faked out. And then I wouldn't be surprised if it pulls right back into this area and then just ranges for a little bit. Let me see if there's any lower levels down here. So if price does drop any lower, you'll know where to look for if price does come back to that point. All right, so there's a lower support right here. This is the 1-hour support. So if it drops any lower, next target price points can be down here. Let's see, we got some liquidity starting to build up here. Chart's kind of messy, but at least you guys can see what entries are coming up here. This is a good thing to have too. So like now that we're marking up all the entries here, you can kind of have an idea like, okay, these entries are hitting. So this is probably what I should focus on, for the next following days. Looks like the BV3s have been hitting pretty smoothly. The only problem with taking these BV3s is what I just talked about earlier with the slippage in the market. So like, I don't really like taking these BV3s because, or anything that has to do with the market order because of the slippage. That's been happening. It's kind of weird that there's that much slippage because the volatility is actually not that high, especially with the V1 entry that I took over here. Like when I took this entry, I had a slippage of 7 points, which I don't know. I think is like super, super weird that that happened. Again, I'm taking these entries on Apex, so I don't know if it's an Apex issue. I haven't taken them on my personal account. So when I take the breakout tomorrow, I'll see if there's any slippage on that entry. If there isn't, then it might just be a funding company issue, not necessarily a direct issue with personal accounts and stuff. Nice. Daniel said a high-low V2. Just hit for 30 points. Solid. There's a lot of entries coming up, guys. There's a whole bunch. So we got price coming back down right here. Let's see if it actually continues down lower. There was an entry right here for market flow V2. I don't know if anybody caught this, but this one was like, it barely triggered it at the 60 mark. $7.16 right now, still early. It feels like we've been on this for a while, but looks like we still got some time here. So I'll still be looking for some entries here at the moment. See, Williams asking, hey, Sean, what are your thoughts on Tick Tick Trader? So I think Tick Tick Trader is good. From what I've heard is that you can make withdrawals whenever, there's no time limit. The only problem with Tick Tick Trader is that you can't use a copier, so you can only trade Tick Tick Trader. I don't know how they can identify that you're using different, like you're using a trade copier, but they've confirmed that they don't allow it. So if you want to trade Tick Tick Trader, I know they just started off their straight to funded. They have Trade of 8. So I was thinking about adding them to my accounts, but their support said that they don't allow for they don't allow you to copy like your Apex accounts to your Tick Tick accounts. You can only trade Tick Tick. Again, I don't know how they know about that, but I don't know. Maybe at one point I'll try it out and I'll see if they pay me out. I'll just maybe buy one account and try them. Yeah, Daniel said, what if you use them as the main? How would they know? Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't know. Because there's no way for them to really know. I mean, the only way they would know is if they were getting the data from like Apex, right? Like if Apex gave them the data and they were like, okay, all of the orders come up at the same time. That's how they would know. I'm not sure if they work together, if they have some sort of partnership or anything like that, but yeah, I have no idea how they would specifically know. I know for FTMO, like, so when we used to use the other copier, I forgot what the other copier system was called, but the one that we used for FTMO, when you would use that copier, it would it would leave a print. So there was like a print in the metadata that it was coming from a different source. So I know that that was the case back then, but for Replicano, I don't know how they would know. I just have no idea how they would know. So maybe in the future I might open just one account with TickTick. I know they have a promo going on right now, so it's pretty good, but and they're straight to funded as well. And they've been around for a while. So TickTick was actually they were one of the first companies to do straight to funded, but now they do straight to funded with Tradeovate. So before they were only with Rhythmic, now they're with Tradeovate. They're a company in France. So another thing too is that they're a company in France, so they're not a US company. So couple red flags, but I don't know. I might give them a shot. I might just buy one account, add them to my copier, see if there's any issues. If there's no issues, then maybe I'll add a couple more accounts. The thing with kind of going in the gray area of like these company rules is that you just want to go undetected, right? So for example, when I take my profits and my payout splits, I don't go for like I'm not asking for like 100K payout, right? Because that's when you start to go on the radar. If you just stay under the radar and you just like what I do is I take little profit here and there, um, you don't really cause a problem to these funding companies. I mean, as dumb as it sounds, it's been working for me, right? I've never had any like denied payouts. I've never had any like review on mine because I'm always asking for something like normal. I feel like the people who have issues are like they're requesting like these huge payouts, and then they obviously they're going to go and review their trades because they don't want to pay out that much. But if you can just stay within the radar and just take a little here and there, you probably won't get reviewed for anything. So just something to keep in mind, guys. You know, I've told you guys this before in the past. Some people listen, some people don't. It seems like the only people who have issues with payouts are people who are requesting too much, or if they're doing something like the DCA rule. Like I know that Apex has like implemented that you can do DCA, but they sort of don't because if you look at their criteria, um, like they say you can do DCA, but realistically you really can't. Because if you look at the consistency rule, it doesn't necessarily like they make it where you can easily violate it. Like, you know, they say you can do DCA, but you can only do it if you're in profit. Like what, for example, if you're right here, right, price comes back up a little bit and then you DCA right here. I think this would violate the DCA rule. Like it would have to be a red candle. Like you'd have to be down here and DCA down here versus up here. Like it's really tricky. Apex, and I'm sure they don't do this purposely to like scam people, but their rules are so specific that they have a lot of options to deny someone's payout. Like for me, I use the same contract size for every single trade. I use the same contract size. I use almost the same TP. If anything, my trailing stop is like slightly less than, you know, what the full TP would be. So I never like violate the consistency rule and I never violate the contract size rule. I don't DCA because I only get into one entry at a time. And that's why I never really had problems with Apex. I always hear people complain about Apex, but they've been good to me, so I don't really have any issues. You just got to trade within the rules. Um, you know, I feel like a lot of people are always trying to bend the rules, and that's usually what ends up burning people in the long term. But yeah, I mean, back to your question, William. Tick's good from what I've heard. They're not the best, but they're good for what they offer. All right, so there's no entries here right now. Looking to see if there's anything that I can possibly get into before we get off this live session, but it's not really looking too hot right now. We had a bunch of entries come up over here. I only took two of them though. So these two over here I missed completely. There was a triple confluence that came up right there. There was a breakout V3 continuation that came up right here, both full TPs. I took this V1 variation. I figured, okay, the market's moving smoothly and directional, but as soon as I got into this V1 variation, it ended up hitting my stop loss. So unfortunately, this hit my stop loss. And then right here, I took this market flow V2, which hit my TP. So I only took these two entries right here. You guys can see the arrows for my entries on my chart. I got the blue arrows right there indicating that I bought out from there. Everything else over here, I didn't really take. I was just marking it up so that you guys can be aware of like what entries are coming up. So I'm doing this for like future review, right? Even though I didn't take the entries, I'm marking these up. So if I want to go back and review this live session, say later today or tomorrow, like if I'm curious tomorrow, what entries should I focus on? The entries that you should be focusing on looks like the market flow V2s, triple confluences, and breakout V3 continuations, right? Because those are the entries that are hitting. So think about that tomorrow when you guys are taking the scalps. Like what entry should you focus on? Probably not V1 variations because you're not hitting. Well, I mean, just that one didn't hit, but for the most part, yeah, I don't see any other V1 variations here. I think I'm going to stick to the market flow V2s, possibly the MPS. And yeah, I mean, we'll go from there. I just want to stick to the pending order entries because, like I said, the V1 variation here, this here should have closed out in profit for 10 points. The only problem with this entry is that I got in at like horrible slippage. Like I got in and then I was 7 points in the negative already, which is beyond me. I'm like, how does that even happen? Because the market didn't really seem volatile at that time. So this one should have been a win. If you look at the 10 points here, this definitely hit 10 points. So the V1 variation should have been a win, but you know, it is what it is. It's got to eat that loss and keep going. So we got price pushing up higher right here. Price was kind of just sitting within this little small consolidation zone. Now price is pushed up higher at this point. So what I'm looking for here is I'm looking for a possible buy signal. Once this buy signal comes up, I'll be looking for price to come back down lower and a possible market flow V2. But yeah, the slippage, I mean, the slippage from yesterday was pretty annoying. And then the slippage today was even more annoying. Typically, if I do have slippage, it's off by like maybe 1 or 2 points, not 7 points. Because at that point, I can't even move stop loss and profit. All right. So again, guys, just a reminder, I am back to teaching and mentoring. I haven't taught mentor in a while now, I think over a year now. The reason why I decided to mentor again was just because I had a couple meetings with our older members. And, you know, I just want to give back to you guys because, like, obviously I wouldn't be in this position right now if it wasn't for you guys. So I'm just going to give back for the next couple months or however long it may be. I will be mentoring. So from starting next Monday, November 25th, I will have a group mentoring session. The group mentoring sessions are going to be they're going to be operated a little differently. So instead of us just coming in and then you guys asking random questions, I'm going to be covering the course in order. So I'll be looking at this is what the course looks like. I'll be covering like module 1, maybe module 2. I'll just be covering the basics and stuff, right? So that you guys can, if you guys ever want to have like some sort of master class, you guys can just go down the mentoring sessions in order. You can go from like mentoring session from this week, which covers all of the basic stuff. The mentoring session the following week will cover just all the indicators. For the mentoring session week 4, I'll cover like the directional strategies. Mentoring session 5, I'll look at the sideways strategies. We'll look over every strategy in detail, and I'll come up with a lot of examples for you guys. And then obviously the breakout strategies over here that we don't really apply as much because we're already focusing on one specific one, but I will cover all this stuff pretty much in order. So it'll be basically like a master class. So like if you guys ever want to go back and review how everything works or how specific strategies work, you can just go over and watch the mentoring sessions in order. So I'll create a separate, I'll create like a separate playlist for that. so that you guys can just watch everything in order. That way you can go from A to Z. You can basically start from not knowing anything about trading and then understanding the strategies and then coming on and applying the strategies with us here during the live sessions. Again, if you guys are not part of the free course, I mean, the course covers pretty much everything we've covered over the past 8 years. Just go to the website, kodikaitrades.com, click on unlock your free access right here. This will give you access to this whole entire course that covers pretty much everything. Like there's so much information here that I mean, if you go through every video there, you'll like know exactly what we're doing. Like I don't hide anything. I give you guys the same exact requirements that we look for. Um, I've like looked at other courses. I've looked at other courses to see what other people are doing, and other people's courses are. I feel like they don't give you the full package. Like they kind of they tell you what they're doing, but they don't actually show you what they're doing. Like I've seen a lot of these supply and demand courses just to kind of see how people teach it. And I mean, honestly, I was super confused. I didn't even know what the hell I was looking at. I understood supply and demand just by trial and error. I saw what they were doing and I was like, okay, I'll use my high-low indicator over here to identify supply and demand, my high-low indicator and momentum. So that's how I was able to understand how supply and demand was pretty much applied. I feel like everyone kind of explains it in a different way, which is really confusing because there should be like one way to identify supply and demand generically, or not even supply and demand, just in general. Like for me here, for our like pretty much all my indicators that I use, I made things everything super simple. Like for the SR indicator, it pretty much plots it for you, so you don't have to go and do anything. For the levels over here, you just turn on the levels indicator and it pretty much marks up all the levels for you. You can mark up which levels you want to focus on. And then like everything else here, like the pivots make it easy to identify price bounces. The high-low indicator makes it easy to identify liquidity. The momentum indicator makes it easy to identify momentum and, et cetera. So yeah, starting next Monday. So if you guys can keep next Monday open, I will be hosting the mentoring session, whether people attend it or not, I'll still host it. And I'm just going to go over pretty much the course in order. And then at the end, I'll answer questions if anybody wants anything specific. And that's just my way of giving back to you guys. Because I mean, it helps me. It helps me more than it helps you guys, really. Reviewing the old stuff, just kind of looking at the basics. It gives me ideas and I start to get creative with like looking for new entries and new patterns and stuff to put together new strategies. But for the most part. So there's not much going on here, guys. Price is still going sideways. There's just not much going on here. Price is going sideways and it's not really expecting much to happen here. If you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Otherwise, we will continue to look for something here, but I'm not seeing too much going on. Yeah, Lila said that's going to be awesome. Going back to remedial. It's the best way to learn and break bad habits. Thank you so much. Yeah, definitely, Lila. CJ said, right. I remember feeling like something was wrong with me when I first started trading based on how people were explaining it. Then I joined K2 and I was like, this is easy. Then I realized supply and demand is more subjective and other mentors explain it that way on purpose. You'll spend more money. Yeah, exactly. That's the problem with supply and demand, guys, is that it's very subjective, like CJ said. That's why I don't like using supply and demand. I'd prefer to use support and resistance versus supply and demand because the thing is, if you have support and resistance, like my indicator here, the SRV2, it plots it on the chart for you, so you can't really screw it up, right? It like literally tells you where it's at, and it's not subjective because it doesn't move. Like once the support and resistance has been plotted, like for example, I plotted these on the 5-minute, right? And on the 10-minute, like once the support and resistance has been established, it's pretty much there. And it's pretty much there and there's nothing else to really do. You just kind of base it off those zones. Like for example, I drew these zones right here. And now that we have zones here, like we're just looking at how price reacts to them. So I'm not gonna like adjust this. So I'm like, oh, this is supply and demand, and this is now supply and demand. It's like, no, this is support resistance. So just look at how price reacts to it. So for example, here, price is reacting to the support right here, right? Price reacted to the support down here. So price came below the support, it faked out, came back up, retested, and now it's pushing up higher. So if you guys have like if you guys are able to use something like this, the SR indicator to plot zones on the chart, you can use those zones to just identify how price reacts to it. So for example, here, same with this, right? Price comes below the zone. It's not like we change the zone or adapt to it or change it. It just comes down below and you're like, okay, fake out happened there, fake out happened there, break and retest right here, and it comes back down. Instead of you drawing like, instead of everybody having a different support resistance, right? Because we all have, well, majority of people here do have the indicator, so all of our support resistance lands at the same area. So the analysis is always going to line up with each other. Versus like you have a support here, someone else has a support down here, someone else has a resistance up here, and then everyone's confused because everybody's looking at something different. With this right here, I like having stuff that doesn't change. So I don't like stuff that repaints, you know, similar to like the momentum signals over here. These don't repaint. Once they're closed, they're there. And that's how I was able to come up with the breakout strategy because they don't repaint. Like you can base the strategies based off whatever's on the chart. It's not like you change your analysis just because something looks different. It's like you stick to your analysis because you already know what the direction of price is and stuff like that. So you know, my main goal is to keep things simple, guys. Like trading shouldn't be that complicated. I feel like a lot of people out there try to complicate stuff, like not to call up the ICT traders, but like that stuff's really complicated. If you think about it, yeah, you can make profit trading ICT, but that stuff's really complicated because it's so subjective. For me, I like trading like objectively. I like trading where like I can base stuff off theory. Well, it's not even theory, it's based off like what's on the chart. It's not like I'm changing things up. Like for example, the high lows right here where I have liquidity, they don't disappear. They're on the charts already, right? So like now that we have the high lows here marked up, I'm like, okay, price hit liquidity right there. All right, that's been used. Now we move on to the next one. So I'm not here to bash anybody's strategy. I'm just here to show you guys that like there's ways to trade that are not complicated. Um, and it's based off stats. Like for example, the breakout entry that we're taking, this is all based off stats. I'm not taking some random breakout. I have stats here to show like how it's been moving for the whole year. So I do everything off statistics. So, you know, if the stats here line up, like for example, the breakout that we're applying right now, for this year so far, the only month that it's been red was April with the model that I'm currently using. So like with that said, obviously I'm going to try to stick with the model that I'm currently using. So I'm trying to yield a profit every month. Other than that, guys, there's not really much else here right now. I'll keep looking for some entries. Price is shifting back to the upside right now, as you guys can see. Price is within this range. The thing here is that you want to see how price reacts to this resistance at this point, because price is going to push up to it. You'll see if price bounces off and comes back into this range, or you'll see if price breaks above, retests and climbs up higher, or you'll see if price bounces off here, comes back below and retests. These zones right here are going to be key because you just want to see how price reacts to these specific zones. Right? And you also don't want to get in too early. So using this as criteria to identify the direction of price will help you with looking for other entries. Let's take a look at the bigger picture. So looking over here, the 1 minute is currently swinging to bullish. The 5 minute is still bearish. 10 minutes still bearish. 1 hour is still bearish. 4 hours still bearish. And the daily over here is still bullish. So, I mean, I guess we'll see here if this ends up being a reversal to the upside. It looks like it possibly could because the 1 minute over here is shifting to the upside. And the 5 minute over here is breaking, retesting off the pivots. So you can see over here on this current candle, price came above, retesting, and it can possibly push up higher. So looking at this 5 minute chart, see how price is bouncing off the pivot right there? This candle has about 2 minutes left on it. So if this candle does bounce off it, this could be a hint that, okay, price is starting to shift to the upside. And then if it does push up higher, it's got a ways to go until the next pivot right there. So break and retest off the pivot, continuation to the upside. And this is how you use, a lot of people talk about a top-down analysis. This is how you use a top-down analysis. The only thing here is that these are going to be conflicting. So for example, if this 5-minute doesn't close very strong as a green candle, then this 10-minute over here can bounce off. Sorry guys, 1 second. My bad. Kodi was barking. Not sure if you guys can hear him. But anyways, like I said earlier, this is where the top-down analysis kind of conflicts. This is why I don't like using a top-down analysis all the time, because the 10-minute can conflict with the 5-minute here. But if the 5-minute does line up, then the top-down analysis is actually helpful, because you have the rejection here. And then on the 10-minute, you have price breaking above with the buy signal. And then on the 1-minute, you got price climbing to the upside, right? So it's the thing with the top-down analysis is that it is beneficial to an extent, but it could also be detrimental depending on how you're using it. So looking at this right here, I mean, this looks pretty good for price to swing up. What I typically like to look for when I'm looking on these different time frames is I'm looking for the rejections, right? So for example, right here on the 1 hour, I don't see any rejection off the top end. So this could be a push up. This could be a retracement for the 1 hour. You can see this candle here was huge. So it might be trying to retrace back up for correction on the 1 hour. So again, like I said, if you guys want to do this, I will be covering this during the mentoring sessions, and I'll try to explain things as much as I can with regard to using a top-down analysis, or I guess you call it whatever you want. Some people call it top-down analysis. I just like looking at it as an overall view of the market, an overall technical view. And once you have some sort of bias here with regard to the overall technical view, then you can start looking for possible entries here. So for example, price is swinging up higher. Because it's swinging up higher at this point and it's starting to look good, I can look for possible market flow V2s here for a buy. Even though the trend hasn't been confirmed yet, I can look for a possible market flow V2, or I can look for an MPS entry. So if price does pull back, we'll look for that. If and when it does retrace back, we'll be looking for the next whole number, right? So if this candle here closes red, the MPS entry would happen right here at the 50. Otherwise, it'll happen here at the 40. Candle does have to close red though. It looks like it'll be here at the 40 mark. Maybe lower. Yeah, maybe at the 30 right here. So if you're looking to take an MPS entry, see, the problem with the MPS is that you have to be really quick with the entries here. So let's see. Put a pending order right there.
Order submitted.
So this would be an MPS entry. If you want to take it as a market flow V2, it would happen right here at the 20 mark. Let's take a look at the overall view over here. So this could push up. Looking at where it's currently at, let's take a look at this here. So yeah, if you wanted to take a market flow V2, it would happen down here a little lower at the 20 mark. This is what I was saying. The MPS and the market flow V2, they're pretty much the same strategy. It's just sometimes you get in earlier, sometimes you get in later. Let's see if this here ends up pushing back up off the pivot. So yeah, if you wanted to take the MPS, it would happen right here at the 20 mark. Or sorry, the MPS is here. Market flow V2 would be right here at the 20 mark. The volatility here is just very low again, like we said earlier. It's just so slow. So Not really expecting too much to happen here, but we'll see if price ends up pushing up from where it's currently at. Here's a clean chart. Price over here might just sit around this area. Looks like the yeah, faked out from this break. And it might just consolidate a range around this lower area here. Let's look at the SR chart. Yeah, it lined up together here. I should have looked over here first real quick before I took the entry because it just faked out right here. So we'll see if it pushes back up, but it faked out at this. So on the clean chart, it faked out at 350 price. And then at the SR chart, it faked out right here at this resistance point. But I mean, price can push back up. It doesn't necessarily have to pull back into the range, but it looks like we're still in this consolidation zone. Let me see this over here real quick. See where we're at. Yeah, I'm not really seeing too much happening here. So we're currently in this range. Let's see if price bounces off this lower range here and swings back up. Otherwise, you might be stuck in this range here for a while. So the NPS entry is still running right now. It is still running right now. Let's see where it's at. I'm probably gonna close out of this a little earlier. Just want to see where it's at here on the clean chart. Yeah, I'm probably gonna pull out of this right there. Break even mark. See 60. And this market is just frustrating. There's nothing going on here. Price is still going sideways right now, guys. I mean, you can see here. So let me mark up opening price, or I'll mark up a line right here. Let's mark it up to 8 o'clock. So there hasn't really been too much direction here. I mean, price did come down a little bit, but then it just pulled right back up to where it was earlier. The opening price was up here. So price can technically still push up higher. So looking at this point here, I'll just mark up the opening price. So, I mean, there's still a possibility that price will correct back up to this opening price point, which is what I was kind of expecting here. Expecting price to push up a little higher, climb back up. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, it's kind of flat. All right, so let's see if this here pushes back up from where it's currently at. I mean, this will probably just range within this middle area here now. Trying to see if this here will likely push up from where it's currently at now. Let me go back over here real quick. All right, so it is back in profit right now, as you guys can see. It is back in profit. Stop loss got moved in profit right there, it looks like. Or did it? I think price didn't push up far enough for it to fully move in profit. I think just a couple contracts. And there we go. So got stopped out in profit right there, guys, at 10 points. There's not much to do here. So, all right, well, I recouped pretty much most of my loss from that V1 variation, but not much. All right, guys, I think I'm gonna wrap this up for the day. There's just not much going on here. This here was a market flow, or this was an MPS entry actually. Momentum, pullback scalp, partial TP. And I think I'm done for the day. There's just not very much volatility. Typically for these MPS entries, you're looking for it to come down, fill, and then go straight up right away. But it's not looking so great. I mean, the volatility here is just really, really low. And there's not much here to take. So I'm going to go ahead and just mark this up. Let me just take a screenshot of all the entries that came up today. So if you guys are curious to see like when entries came up, so it looks like for tomorrow, possibly I'll be focusing on market flow V2s and these triple con or not market flow V2s, triple confluences, and breakout V3 continuations. I'll probably I'm gonna put like what entries here hit. So triple confluence, 2 wins, breakout V3, continuations, 1, 2, 2 wins, V1 variation, 1 loss, market flow, V2, 1, 2, 3 wins. Okay, so if you guys are curious, I'm gonna try to do this every day so that we can have an idea of like what's hitting right now, because obviously some strategies are gonna work, others are not gonna work. You can see over here, I put scalps covered on today's live session, triple confluence, 2 wins, breakout V3 continuation, 2 wins, V1 variation, 1 loss, market flow V2, 3 wins, and momentum pullback scalp, 2 wins. And then I also screenshotted it right there if you guys want to look. So I think this is going to be very beneficial for a lot of you guys here. So when you guys see these strategies here, you can just be like, okay, this is what's hitting. So let me go to the course. Let me go to the website, kodikaitrades.com, unlock free access, pull this up right here. I'm like, okay, what strategy was that, right? And if you're curious to see what those strategies are, you can easily just pull them up here. The triple confluence is an older strategy. Oh, it's right here, actually. It's in module 5. So you can just click on that right there, and you're like, okay, triple confluence. There's a strategy. And then you can watch it and you can understand how to look for that tomorrow, the next live session. Same with the breakout V3 continuations. I think I misspelled continuations. There we go. Yeah, and the breakout, of course. So my main goal here, guys, with you guys on this live session and with you guys who have been with me for a while is really just to give you guys an idea of like what to focus on, right? Because I know there's a lot of strategies to look at. They're all very similar, but for a lot of the beginners, it's hard to focus on like one specific thing. So hopefully throughout the year and moving forward, you'll be able to see this a lot more and you'll be able to follow and understand, okay, like this is what I'm looking for when you're looking for specific strategies to focus on. But yeah, other than that, guys, I think this might be it for the day. Given the crappy market conditions here, we'll try to maneuver where we can. But for the most part, it's gonna be tricky. CJ's asking, hey Sean, do you think the high impact news tomorrow will be negative? Let me check real quick. So the news for tomorrow is continuing jobless claims. Yeah, I'm anticipating it to be slightly negative because the last month was crazy. Like the last NFP data was or this month was really bad. So I'm not expecting this to make a huge jump. This is just be a continuation of like what was released on that specific NFP data. With the existing home sales here, I'm forecasting this to be, I think this will be positive because when Trump won, I think a lot of people got excited and they started like rushing to buy homes and like look at homes and stuff like that. Because next year when Trump goes into office, the interest rates are going to go up higher. So, and that's just kind of like from the information that I know. So I think this data here will be positive. I think this data will be negative. So pre-market data will be negative, and then the high impact news existing home sales at 7 during the live session is going to be positive. I mean, we'll see. It doesn't really matter, really. Like it could be negative or it could be positive. You just have to see how the market reacts to it because that's realistically that's kind of what's going to happen. So yeah, with this negative, if you're trying to YOLO your trades and try to get some, I don't know if Apex has any promos going on right now, unless aside from my promo. So they still have my promo going on, but um, yeah, I don't think it's gonna be enough to really push price the way that we want it to. But all right, guys, I think that's it for the day. If you guys have any more questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, just another reminder, starting next week, I'm going to be doing mentoring sessions every Monday. I'll be covering pretty much everything as a masterclass order. So I'll be going down the course in order here so that you guys can understand everything from A to Z. If you know nothing about trading, this masterclass should teach you the basics to actually understand how to use a platform and then actually trade from there. So, all right, guys, I think that's it for the day. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, I will see you guys back here tomorrow for the next live session. So, all right, guys, I think that's it for right now. Yeah, CJ said Apex has 80% off right now, and the larger accounts are $50. Yeah, that's crazy. So that maybe it is a good time to yellow it out, huh? We'll see. All right, guys, if you guys